Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I am going to be showing you how to make a do-it-yourself portable temperate carnivorous bog for your carnivorous bog plants. So what we're going to need for this is a 1 gallon milk jug, and we're going to cut the 1 gallon milk jug into just a little bowl shape like this, and I will show you what we're going to need or what we're going to do with that after. The other thing we are going to need is our bog itself, and I have chosen to use a closet organizer. Now this closet organizer, if you look at this side of it here, is going to be 44.7 inches long by 19.9 inches wide by 6.3 inches high. It has a folding lid here, which we may or may not end up using. The idea with the lid, I figure if it's winter time and I'm storing these outside, as long as I have the peat, the material that's going to be going in here, the peat moss is going to be low enough, I should be able to actually close this up after the carnivorous plants have been sort of chopped off for the winter time, and we could almost store them like this without as much rain getting in, because at least here where I live we have lots and lots of rain for the winter time. So we're going to keep this handy because we probably will need it for the winter time, but for now we're not going to do much with it at all. If we decide we do want to use this, I would suggest still putting a few holes in it, but maybe not that many, and as I say, it's not something that we'll start with right now. So a few things we have to consider with this bog is, I chose one that is going to be portable. It has wheels on the bottom of it. So I'm hoping that I can, even though this is going to be full of peat moss and it's going to be quite heavy, I'm hoping that we will be able to still roll it around to where we need it, or I should be able to lift it up, or two people should be able to lift it and move it anyways to a new spot. But having the wheels just makes it that much more portable so that I can move it in and out of the sun and sort of almost put it away for the winter time, tuck it somewhere cool and dry. Now, things we have to work with here is drilling some holes in the bog because we're going to need some drainage to it. So what I've decided is I'm going to drill some holes with the Dremel tool. Now, we want to keep a little bit of water in the bottom, so I'm not going to drill the first hole right in the bottom. I'm going to drill it probably an inch or so up, and I'm going to drill several of them along the edge here. The Dremel tool that I'm using just has a tiny little bit on it, so this bit is probably 1/4 of an inch wide. I don't want anything too big. I'd rather have a few extra small holes than have something that's going to have one big hole in it. And what we'll do is I'm going to put several holes along the lower edge, probably an inch up from the bottom, so it does have a little inch reservoir of water. Worst case, if I find it's going a little bit sour in there, I could always come back with the Dremel tool and drill a few holes in the bottom of it later, but I don't want to start with that. Then about halfway up, I'm going to drill about half as many holes as I drilled along the bottom. So it might be a matter of drilling 6 holes along the bottom and then 3 holes along the top. And as I say, with the top, what I mean is about halfway up, I'm going to drill a few extra drainage holes so that we sort of have it as it gets deeper, it gets wetter. I don't want the plants to be actually sitting in water. I want the top half to be just moist so that nothing goes rotten. And we want the drainage holes, when it does rain or when I water it, it has somewhere to go and it will sort of self-regulate itself to always be a constant water level in this new bog. So I think this bog is going to be a good size. If you look at it this way, there should be plenty of rows for some big plants at the back. I should be able to put some medium plants sort of in the front, and maybe some sundews and that in front of that. I'm only going to drill holes on the one side of it because the other side is going to be for the show, and I don't want water to be falling out of the holes in the front. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. The Dremel tool might be a little bit loud. What I might do is just cut the audio for this part if it is really screaming loud. So I'll go ahead and I'm going to drill 6 holes in the bottom, 1 inch up, and 3 holes in the middle. Okay, so sorry about that noise there. The reason I'm using the Dremel tool as opposed to just a pair of scissors or even a drill bit is it does almost seem, as you go through, it melts the plastic, so it creates perfectly round little holes, which is exactly what I'm looking for because I don't want to crack the plastic. So I'm going to go ahead and drill 3 more holes with this, and I might have to cut the audio again while this is on, and I'll be over 1 sec. Okay, so I will sit that down, and I'm going to turn this around and show you what I did. So we now have a front and a back to our bog. I haven't forgotten about this. I will tell you what that's for in just 1 second. So I'm going to move this and come a little closer to the camera. So I don't know if you guys can see here the little holes that I've drilled. They're only about 1/4 of an inch. So there's 6 along the bottom, about just an inch or so up off the bottom, and then just a little bit higher I did 3 more holes. So hopefully you guys can see that on camera there. I did make a total of 9 holes in this altogether, with none of them actually in the bottom. That way we will keep some water in there. So what I was thinking I might do with this is in the backside with just a piece of wood or tile or something, I might sort of tier it once the dirt and plants are in here. So I have a raised area that's maybe flush with the top or very close to it, and then an area that's a little bit sunken in, just to sort of give it a 2-dimension here. What I'm going to do with this is I'm going to drill a bunch of holes in the bottom of this as well. And what this is going to do is it's going to look like a little pond, probably somewhere in the front tier. But what it actually is going to do is be a way for me to regulate the water. This just so happens to be down just enough that we can see the water here, so that when I pour water in, I want to water through this, and that way it soaks through everything else. So I'm going to go ahead and drill. There we go. So, sorry about the noise again, but you can see from here, or hopefully you can see there, that I have drilled 6 holes in the bottom, so that is going to be a little pond in the front, and it's going to be somewhere where I can actually pour some water into it without making the dirt go all over the place. And this is going to gauge, when this is empty, I know it's time to start refilling it to add more water to the bog. Anyway guys, that is part 1 of how to make a Temperate Carnivorous Bog portable. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to be continuing in this series. Next step is going to be adding dirt to the bog. We use peat moss. I will show you how that's done. There's a few extra ingredients that go in the peat moss as well. We'll get this installed in there and maybe tier it all up. But that'll be on part 2 of how to create a portable Temperate Carnivorous Bog. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel and make sure to hunt down part 2, and that will be coming up shortly. Thanks for watching.